Welcome back to the Public Finance Trail program. Remember, this is your favorite program coming to your screens every Mondays at 8:30 p.m. You can help make the conversations going by sending your views, comments, and opinions to the numbers on your screen. Stay tuned. Mr. Kongin, how does public participation help in improving decision making in accounting?
Public participation has quite a number of advantages that it brings that are not there if public participation is not made or it's not done. So one of the things is when you consult the public, you get additional information on the decisions that the county government will take. So you will also get more projects that you can implement that you had not factored before doing the public participation. And then it also makes the projects sustainable and acceptable by the public. And when they are consulted, you also reduce those challenges like the people feeling that this is an illegitimate decision made by the county government. So they'll feel that they are also part of this decision making. The other thing also is when the county government goes out and talks to the public, they are able to understand the challenges and be in a position to interact well with their people and be able to solve their problems in a better way.
Mr. Kiprono, excuse me, we've said that public participation is such a vital process in the budgeting process. How does it help in developing communities?
Yeah, one is a continuous meaningful public participation, builds the capacity of the public or the communities, you can call it that way. One, they learn how to solve their problem by engaging with government, constructive, not confrontation.
Sure.
The other thing that will happen is it will improve the relationship between the public and the government because they will have an understanding.
Sure.
They will have understood one another. Why is the public disagreeing over this? Why is the government making certain decision? And so they will be the government will understand the public and the public will understand the government. So there will be relationship between several actors, which includes the public. And then the other thing is an opportunity to find problem-solving mechanisms. If we constructed something and it is not working, or if we made a decision that did not resonate with the public, so how do we correct the mistakes that happen at that point? Instead of confrontational, they'll have a dialogue. Come again and sit and say, okay, look, let's discuss this thing and see how we can move on together.
Okay.
So the other thing that builds capacity is that public cannot come to a meeting. For example, if they are called to a dialogue, as a result of that capacity, will come and just sit and disagree for no reason. With the decisions the government makes, they'll give reasons. They from that understanding, I say, they'll understand one another. They'll be able to improve their decision. Their relationship and something like that. So they will be no one comes to a dialogue and just sits and at the end of it all disagrees with the decision and leaves away. So it will be kind of communication. Like I say, it's a two-way communication. So they'll communicate look, okay, well, that's good, that's not good. These are the reasons why I think it's not good. And government will say, okay, this is why we are making this decision and for the following benefits or reasons or something like that. Because everything has a challenge or something like that. So we will agree to live with the challenges that comes with the decisions that we are going to make. So in a way that we are in a good term. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Kongin, is there public participation at the supplementary budgeting stage? And do you think Uasin Gishu as a county considers it?
Okay, basically a supplementary budget refers to revisions of the budget in the middle of the financial year. And mostly towards the end of the first half of the financial year, most counties come up with supplementary budgets to address some challenges they had not anticipated when they were doing the budget in the first place. And for instance, if you look at some counties, they end up doing more than one supplementary in a financial year. For example, if you look at the case of Uasin Gishu in the year 2014-2015 financial year, they did about three supplementaries in the middle of that financial year. And one of the things that is a challenge when it comes to supplementaries, there is no element of public participation. because it is just a revision that is done by the executive and given to the assembly, and then it is approved, and there is no public participation taking place when something like that.
Mr. Kiprono, he has said that the supplementary budgets are simply budget revisions in a financial year. What are the circumstances that normally force these revisions to be done before a financial year ends?
Yeah, there are things like Kongin mentioned, like things you didn't anticipate. Remember the budget is estimate. So it's not like actual cost, So like we estimate we are going to spend this amount. So in the middle of the financial year, which Kongin says first half of the year, like the first 2 quarters, after the first 2 quarters we say, okay, what are the challenges that we faced and what's the plan for the next 2 quarters or the next half of the year. So if we realize that there are few things that we've not actually factored in when we formulated the budget, or we didn't anticipate, we didn't know that these comes will come, So we then revise the budget at that point to say, okay, where can we cut? For example, some counties will cut unnecessary costs, like travel, stationery, whatever, all this kind of thing, to create some funding to address that unexpected cost. But in some instances, counties just do revised budgets for selfish reasons. For example, some counties will do a supplemental budget to introduce new projects in the middle of the financial year at the expense of projects which public approved. Yeah, so public said implement 1, 2, 3 things, and in the middle of the financial year, the county government comes in and revises the budget and removes those things and brings in a set of completely new expenditure. For example, was an issue in the current financial year. There was subsidy of lime, allocation of 10 million. So they have done revisions and they removed the allocation to lime and to fund NOREP. Remember the North Rift Economic Block expenditures. So it's like, what is the point? So public wanted subsidy, but now you're bringing in NOREP thing as if you didn't know this NOREP thing existed. It's like, so sometimes it beats logic, And then the other thing is, when all these things are done, the wrong reasons why we revise budgets are done. So it then renders public participation that was done in the budget initially useless. Because what's the point of us participating, and then in the middle of the financial year you revise the budget where there is no participation? Yeah. So so the revisions at this stage should also have participation. But there are few counties like Elgeyo, for example, who the revision of the budget is only recurrent, and recurrent for essential things, for things which are serious, not minor expenditures that we didn't expect or something like that. So it will not affect per se, like medical trucks or something like that. But you just look at where can we cut that would not affect the decisions made by public initially. So there are few counties who are doing reasonable revisions, but there are few counties are just doing selfish revisions of the budget.
And Mr. Kongin, in light with these budget revisions, what does it indicate when these revisions are done more often?
Yeah, one of the things that you see as a reflection of so many revisions, it gives you an indication that we have a weak budget system, or what you can say is we have ineffective oversight also. Because under normal circumstances, if you are doing a revision because of the unavoidable circumstances and those challenges, then it is reasonable. But then when you have to do revision after revision, then it means when you are doing the budget in the first place, you didn't do it right. So it means the budgeting process or the system that the people doing the budget actually, which is the executive, is having challenges in the way they do their budgets.
And in the whole public participation process, there should be a feedback, because once the executive gets to the public and the public also says their opinions to the public, to the executive. Now at the end of it all, there must be a feedback to ensure that the negotiations went through. How important are feedback in this process, in the participation process, and do you think Uasin Gishu as a county really give it a priority?
Great, thanks. Maybe I'll just say one thing in addition to what Kongin says. What does supplementaries indicate? Supplements are normally acceptable across the world once in the middle of the financial year. That's acceptable. But many supplementaries will also mean that in addition to your weakness, the budget, the weakness in budget system, it also means that the people who are approving the budget, the assembly, are also weak. Because I mean, what's the basis of approving those expenditures? That in the middle of the financial we revise like 2 times or 3 times. So it also indicates that the legislature is weak. So on the feedback is very important. You know, like I mean, I gave you my views, and then what? How did you use? Did you go use all my views or something like that? Normally, government is not obligated to take everything the public says. They'll take a few things they can, they'll omit a few things they can. So for those things that they omit, so they have to get back to the public and say, okay, look, you gave us feedback, but we didn't use all of it. We used 1, 2, 3, we didn't use 1, 2, 3, and why didn't we use 1, 2, 3 reasons? So the public will be satisfied at the end of it all, will say, okay, fine. Because of the reasons you've given us why you didn't use our 1, 2, 3 of our feedback or our input, I mean, that's good, right? But when you go and just silent, you don't know, public doesn't understand what you use or what is the impact of their participation, they will not participate again next time. You're calling them and then like, why should I participate? I didn't know why, what was the impact of my participation in the previous consultation.
Sure. Yeah. And that brings us to the end of the show, and thanks for keeping it the Public Finance Trade Program. Continue watching KTS. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time to shed some light on the public participation process in Uasin Gishu County. My name is Regina Kinyo Orlando, and till next time, see you.